Okay, JMMJ Productions. Today we're taking on a larger project. Here we got this landing for the back steps here, and it's rotted out pretty bad. So you can see yesterday I was standing out there and my foot went right through it. So I'm going to point out some things that are wrong with this landing. Thankfully, whoever did it got the rise almost right. I think they probably did this rise and didn't account for the 1.5 inches for the 2x4s, because if you look at the where the door lands there, they had to put the 2x4s inset in the stringers instead of on top of the rim joist and stringers. And speaking of, there's only one. You know, you should have one every 16 inches or stuff like that happens. So another thing that they did wrong is you'll notice that there's very little, if not no, gap in these 2x4s. And that just doesn't allow water to go through, and then it sits, and then you get, I mean, look at this. It's like, I mean, that's from water sitting on it. And then that water that was sitting there goes into here. Look at this. I mean, it's just like soft, brittle. So that's not doing much. So to correct the problems, everything has to come down. We're going to take down the railings. Probably the only thing I'm going to save are the stringers, because they're made out of pressure treat, and maybe these here, but even then. Okay, let's get underneath here. You'll see that they put this board across the top. This should have been a 4x4, and it should have been resting underneath the rim joist and stringers, right? This just caught water, like, and again, you don't want sitting water on anything, so I'm not sure what who did this or what they were thinking, but a lot of mistakes here. So I'm going to make some critical measurements. The height here, the distance from here to here, because that's important when it comes to putting the railing back on and reusing some of this stuff. But really that's about it. So yeah, let's get started and get into this. Get a nice before here. Okay, let's go. Okay, just a little update here. Back up a bit. It's way worse than I thought. I mean, this just barely hanging on to anything, and I don't think they had it. I don't think they had this mounted. Like, this should be drilled into the concrete and bolted on there, and it's not. I honestly think it's just screwed to this piece of plywood right here. So yeah, it was really dangerous. I'm surprised nobody went through it sooner. So anyways, let's get back to it. Okay, another quick update. it was bad. Okay, update. Had to scrap the whole thing. Everything was rotten. Ledger boards, everything. And I guess, you know, in a way, that's good, right? I did want to say that there was nothing holding these stairs up. There should have been a concrete anchor into these bricks on both sides. And I mean, right from the get-go, just walking down them, I mean, you could feel how unstable they were. I mean, when you weigh 320 pounds like I do, stability factors come in a lot. So yeah, we're just gonna rebuild the whole damn thing. That's not what I was expecting to do, but I should have expected that. So anyways, let's get at it. Okay, update. While I was taking this down, there's nothing here beneath this door, right? And when they put this up, it was only held up with like a couple of nails. I swear to God, somebody could have just, like, this thing could have just collapsed, right? So now I got 1/2-inch concrete bolts right into the concrete, and I mean, I'm sure somebody will correct me if I'm wrong, but each one of these bolts is good for a couple 100 pounds. I've got 4 in this one, 4 in that one. I think I'm going to go ahead and just put another one right here in the center just for giggles, because I have it. This part here is all screwed into what was behind it, and then I sunk everything here in the corner. This thing shouldn't ever go anywhere compared to what it was. So that's where I'm at. And again, I tend to overbuild things, but man, if I was putting my wife and my kid on here, and I am, and I'm going to, I want it to be as strong as it can be. The way it was, if I would have been embarrassed to leave it like that for any family. So, like, man, trust the carpenter that you're hiring. Ask for references, ask for pictures of his work, because a bad carpenter can kill you. I mean, that's all there is to it. So this will never go anywhere. 20, 30 years, these ledger boards will still be here, I guarantee. So let's keep going. Okay, I think I'm going to knock off for the day, but I didn't film very much. I'll show you what I got done underneath here. Now, these are all 2x12s, right? Like, I way overbuilt this. You could park a truck or build a house on top of this structure easily. So I don't see it ever coming down anytime soon, especially with 2x4 tops on there. These are all just loose right now because I want to paint the tops of the. I want to paint up there first. That'll really save that white wood for a lot longer. I use the white wood just as a, well, it's cheaper, and I've used pressure treat for this stuff before, and what ends up happening is that it dries out and warps. So I kind of learned my lesson about that. Best just to give it a good primer and paint, or primer and paint in the same thing there. Hopefully I'm getting a good enough shot of that. I'm still on the fence about what to do about these stairs. I got all this nice brand new stuff here, and then I got these stairs, and the tops of those are starting to go too. It would just make sense at this point to, I mean, the stringers are pressure treat and they still look like they're in good shape, but the treads are, again, were pushed together, right? And the water just sits in there, and it's really important to make sure that there's a gap in these. And I don't know if you know this, but a carpenter's pencil is a 1/4 inch one way and a 1/2 inch the other, and I usually put a 1/4 inch in there just to make sure that that water flows through, right? It's really important that water runs off and doesn't sit in a puddle like the old, whoever, you know, did it the first time. Everything was just sitting there puddled up. So anyways, that's it for today, and we'll see you tomorrow.